I will be headlining the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas on June 6th and 7th. That's this summer. Get your tickets at thevelveetaroom.com or at bobbyjaycox.com. The tickets all go to the same length anyway. Yeah.
I will be going on tour with the one, the only, Cactus Tate. We are going on the road. You can see us in March. In March, you can see us on March 14th and 15th. We have 4 shows at Hyenas Comedy Club in Albuquerque, New Mexico. On March 26th, you can see us at Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco, California. On March 27th, you can see us at The Punchline in Sacramento, California. And then on April, we are in April. On April, we're in March. But then when we get to April 3rd, we will be at Levity Live in West Nyack, New York. And then on April 5th, we will be at Soul Joel's Comedy Club in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. And then on April 6th, we will be in at the Pittsburgh Improv. The Pittsburgh Improv. That is in Homestead, Pennsylvania. And then we have 4 shows on April 18th and 19th at Off the Hook Comedy Club that is in Naples, Florida. And then we have 4 shows on the 25th and 26th at Wise Guys in Salt Lake City, Utah. And then we also have a show on the 30th at the Brea Improv in Brea, California. Get your tickets at cactustate.com or any of those comedy club websites or mine. All of the links go to the same place. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Here's the episode.
Hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. You know that song. Because I sing it from time to time. How are you? How are ya? Good. I wonder what time it is for you. Is it the morn? Do you prefer your bob in the morn? Do you prefer your bob after some porn? Do you prefer your bob in the night? Do you prefer your bob in the exact middle of the night, which is you start it and then it starts your next day? This is how you start your day. That would be crazy, but how are you? I hope you're doing good. I'm doing great, as always, even if I'm lying, I'm having a good time. I'm not lying. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying in the past, there's definitely been times. I'm feeling great. Honestly, we were on tour and now we're back from tour and being able to sleep in my own stinky bed. My own little rug of farts, I get in just like a dog and I circle around, I go, and then I lay down, ass by my face, and then go, I've actually heard that I don't. I've actually heard that I don't snore. That would be wild to sleep and just sneeze all night. You'd be like, that all night. God, that would feel so good. I'd be like, you want to go to sleep? I'm like, fucking all the time. I can't wait to go to sleep again and fucking sneeze my little ass off. And then there's some people that are like, I actually don't like sneezing in my sleep. And you're just like, we're not fucking talking to you. God damn. It's every day with these people. I actually don't. Shut the fuck up. Never actually. I even try to be quiet with that. Like the other day, someone was talking about a movie and they were like, you ever seen it? And I was like, no. I can't remember what the movie was, but it was like I've never seen Neverending Story. And every time I say that, it's that exact same fucking, aren't you right? We're going to watch it right now on my iPhone around a fire outside with music playing. I'll cup around the bottom of my iPhone so you really get the full experience I got when I was a child. People fucking freak out. Why do we do that? Why do you freak out if no one's seen anything? So I try not to be like, I've never seen that. But then if like someone like asks you, they're like, well, have you seen the Neverending Story? You're like, I've never seen it. And they're like, what? I'm like, I know, I tried not to tell you guys. It's like the same thing with my grandma. Like she doesn't ask who's Catholic. And then we all have to be like, fucking none of your grandchildren. When was the last time you saw us eat the Eucharist? When was the last time you saw us eat the body and suck the blood of Jesus Christ. This is my body. This is my blood. Damn. Like, do you think Jesus ever was like, because it's like, he's like, this is my body. This is what bread's my body. And you're like, all right. And this is my blood. And you're like, okay. And then he's like, this is my piss. And you're like, you know what, Jesus? I think 2 is plenty. He's like, well, you're supposed to do it like 3s is actually kind of like a rule of thumb. He's like, no, we're fine, Jesus Christ. 4. 4 is for horse. Jesus did get pissed a couple times. Like, I think if you read the Bible, do you think there's ever times that he like kind of was like fun? You know what I mean? Like he goes out and like gambles a little bit and he's like, shh. He's like, go sin over there so my dad doesn't watch me over here. And I'm going to do a couple things. This is my body. This is my blood. Do I have to like drink it out of your... No. Don't be crazy. It's like, it's symbolic. So symbolically, you could drink my piss. God, what if someone found that, like if someone, because no Catholic reads the Bible, that's like been said before, it's not my idea, but like, what if they were like, we actually found a part where you are supposed to drink like the piss of Jesus. Because it's like you sin or whatever. There would be people that'd be like, you're right. Because imagine, like, if right now you only ate the bread, and if someone's like, we're actually supposed to drink the blood too, you'd be like, I'm not gonna do that. And they're like, well, it's actually alcoholic wine. You're like, I could try it, I guess. Can we also give it to my kid? They're like, yes, as long as they're in 2nd grade. Can my kid drink only if they're Catholic in 2nd grade? And we'll hand them the cup. And they decide how much they want to drink. You're like, that seems insane. You're like, well, you also can't tax us. And you're like, Jesus Christ. He's like, you're getting it. You're getting it. I do remember getting my, what's it called? First communion. They call it first communion, but it's like, you're also like, you don't go up and you're like, this is my 800th communion. They don't do it like podcast episodes. Like you're like Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Okay, this is 666. Like you're supposed to skip that number like they do 13 in hotels. You're supposed to skip 666. We just don't do it. You go 665, skip it, and then you say 667. 666. Yeah, I said it right. Fuck, I almost said 666. Sorry. And then they pull a lever and you go straight to hell. That would be way cooler if whenever you did like your first communion, because that's also when you do I think that's when we do our first tell a stranger the worst thing you've ever done. So if you want to drink wine, listen, are you fucking listening to me? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know you don't know what we're talking about. If you want to drink wine, you got to tell the stranger the worst thing you've ever done. It just seems like a frat party, but where someone's like doing too much of the controlling. They're like, now everyone sit down. You're like, what? Can we just party? Like, no. There's like an event. There's like a whole thing to this. That's probably why some of those guys are gay. It's not like a frat party. It does feel like a little bit more like a sorority thing. And it's like, we're all gonna wear dresses and eat a little when I tell you to. I don't know. That correlation isn't perfect, but neither is this podcast. And if you're listening to it, you are grateful, like I am, to be Catholic. And here's the thing. I am not Catholic, but I'm Catholic like how, like I'm a naturalized Catholic or whatever. Is that, no. I'm a natural born Catholic. Because like I was born and without my consent, they had a priest, and I don't remember which one did it. If it was Father Everding, he was pretty cool. That guy was actually pretty fucking cool. Father Everding was pretty sick. We went on his boat one time with my parents too. Everyone's like, oh, you know what I mean? But I'm sure other people got whatever. He was pretty cool. Deacon John was pretty cool. He actually that guy came to see me do stand-up recently. That was pretty sick. But yeah, so I'm like born Catholic. So even if I don't go to church all the time, like I'm always allowed to just go back and be like, I fucked up. And they're like, what'd you do? And I'm like, you don't even want to know. And they're like, just go say Hail Marys till you fall asleep. And you're like, okay. Hail Mary, full of grace. That, dude, honestly, the beginning of a Hail Mary kind of sounds like an insult. Hail Mary, full of grace. Like, she's full of grace, dude. She's full of shit. She's full of grace. She's all over the place. The Lord is with thee. And you know, sometimes she's probably, I bet like Mary sometimes didn't. She's like, yeah, I am the mother of God, but can I just be Mary tonight? Can I forget that I've been raising the Son of God, which he's not around. And Joseph's doing the best he can, but it's also hard for Joseph because it's like, you know, Jesus has questions, you know? Like Jesus is like, hey, can you give me Roblox? He's like, no. And then he's like, well, who's my dad? He's like, okay, fine, I'll give you Roblox bucks or whatever. You can fuck Jesus Christ. You can play the game and I go. God damn it. I mean, sorry. Anyway, it's a dumb bit. But yeah, I am. I'm a hard-born Catholic. I get to drink the blood. I could come at any time. I was thinking about that. Can I walk in at halftime when they're doing, or like it's kind of like halftime end time. It's like more like after the second period, I guess, because you can leave. You can get. I've seen people do this in Catholic Mass. You can get the body of Christ and you put that on your tongue, or you can have the priest set it on your tongue if you're a fucking psycho. Oh, if I was a priest, I would definitely be like, all right, thank you. Or I would be like, I don't do that. I'd fucking flick it to the back. I'd go like, it's like a cigarette butt. And I go like, and they're like, I'm like, thank you. And so you do that. And then you get to drink, you know, a little bit of wine. And they hand it to you. And then you, and what is fucking insane is because it's a church and there's no, I guess, like health code. And it didn't taste like, and I don't know it's alcohol, but it didn't taste like the thing. You would drink it and then the person, because here's the thing, there's like a priest, a deacon, and then they would have to, they pre-picked church people to be like, come up here and you're going to help us give it out. And they always did. They all stood so fucking like I really think they're like, God's watching me right now. And when I always did that as a kid, I always was like all the stuff up there, it just felt like you were acting. You're like, I don't think I'm method act. I don't think I'm in the zone. Like everyone else is, they're like closing their eyes going like, oh, like I can't do that, you know? And they always give it to like other people. And then they give it to a stranger. And then that stranger gives it to you and another stranger. You drink, you go, you could put your tongue, you could literally go like this. You could lick the rim like there's salt on it. You could go and then drink it. And then you pass it back. And where they saw you drink, they take a white cloth, I guess from heaven, and wipe the side of it and give it back. I swear to God, they don't even like kind of turn the cup. Like, I don't think they even like kind of like keep turning the cup. I always felt like they were just like here. Like sometimes you would be like in line and you're like looking at the person in front of you and it's like an old man and you're like, I'm not getting wine. I'm not going to go to drink wine and there's fucking teeth in it. I'm not. Oh, you left your dentures in the blood of Christ. Can you get your fucking teeth out of the body and blood of Christ? And then you got his body and his blood. Oh, you're about to build Jesus again. There's teeth in here. There's his body. There's blood. You're about to remake the Lord. You're about to science experiment the Lord back to health. But then, yeah, and it's like, hey, is everyone sick? Yeah, we're all fucking Catholic and sharing the cup of God or whatever. So, God, that was such a weird time. I didn't even want to talk about that. And then it's just like, is this therapy for me? Mm-hmm. But that's enough of Catholic stuff. Hosanna in the high. God, can we do some remixes of them? Ho, 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 ho. No, I can't. But, oh, dude, check out my hat, dude. You guys like my new hat? Me and Tatum were on the road, and I don't remember what city, but someone gave her a hat, and she goes, I'm not going to wear this, and I put it on, and she's like, yeah, that's your hat. And I was like, well, yeah, this looks way better way better on me, but it's a worn hat. Like the person who gave me this hat has fucking worn this hat. Isn't that gross? Someone could have fucked in this hat. Isn't that gross? There could be anything on this hat. Someone could have sweated and done like that with this hat on. And I'll never know. I just been wearing it and just being like, I guess it smells like, I guess it stinks a little bit like that. I have no idea, but and I'm not, dude, I'm not bragging. I am not bragging. But I did right before this podcast started, I sat down and I went to blow my nose. And you ever blow your nose and nothing comes out? The trick is to feel something and stand exactly how you are. And yes, it's going to go all over your face or your toes or the floor. But instead of getting a Kleenex and blowing, it changes the direction. You just go, and sometimes a fucking flubber amount of a fucking mucus will come out of your nose, like a Mucinex guy, like, oh yeah, you get that to come out, and then you breathe in for possibly what feels like the first time in your life. That's a good ass day. And I was about to do this podcast and I was like, man, I'm feeling weird today. Maybe it's because I'm getting back from tour. No, I had snot to rock it out. And then I rocked it. And yeah, sometimes it gets right here. Grow up. It's your boogers. Don't eat them though. I'll fucking absolutely destroy you if you do that. If I watch someone eat their booger, like, yeah. Like Jelly Roll ate his boogers and somehow it all like went away because I'm like, you know what? No one's perfect. I've itched my asshole. You know what I mean? And then you go back to sleep. You don't wake. You know what I mean? We're not perfect. Do you itch your asshole? Get up, go wash your hands and go back to bed? No. You itch your asshole. You store like a bookmark of a memory to be like, do not do anything with this hand until morning. Sure, do not. You itched your asshole. Just slide it in the side of your pocket and kind of like lock it down a little bit. And then if you need anything in the middle of the night, you use your right hand. And if you think this is gross, you're like, I've never done. Yes, you have. There's no way you've went to sleep and kind of sweated through the night and you got that where you're like, oh God, it's that. I'm not even saying your asshole, maybe even the top of your ass, which also stinks. But God, doesn't that feel so good? And then you just have to like go to bed like this. You have to go to bed like a surgeon about to put gloves on, except for that you're so disgusting. Yeah. Why the fuck was I talking? Oh, because I was talking about boogers and all that stuff too. But what did I talk about from boogers? Oh, dude, I'll tell you this. Since I've moved to Austin, I've went on like a handful of maybe the worst dates you could possibly go on. I did move to a city. It's like, man, all these people are beautiful on the outside. I can't stress that enough. Everyone is here. Not everyone, but a lot of them are beautiful on the outside. On the inside, they're bad people. They're bad people. I'm not saying women are bad. I'm not saying this. I'm saying the fucking couple people I went on a date with in Austin have been tremendously stinky fucking dorks. And not stinky in like that way. I just mean as like a human being. But then, so I kind of stopped going on dates and we've been on tour and everything. And then the other day I was like, I got a couple weeks back home and I was at the grocery store and I saw this girl and I was like, we were walking by and the first thing I had to do is she had her cart in my way. Like for sure she had her cart in my way, but she's like that kind of pretty that like she's allowed to. Like we all know that kind of pretty girl where they're just like, oh, sorry. And everyone's like, I swear to, I don't care at all. You know, she's like with that. And you're like, Bob, what are you even doing? Like talking? I'm fucking cute too. I'm a confident cute. I'm a fucking 6 out of 6. But so I'm in the aisle and she's walking by and I'm walking by and I was like, because I had to. She was like looking for rice or whatever. I don't remember what she was looking for. And then I was like, hey, can I move your cart? And she's like, oh yeah. So she moves her car. I like move it, you know, and like while I do it, I'm like fucking I'm like flexing so hard. Like I do it and I make no sound. I was like, you know, and she goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's like, not a big deal at all, you know? And then we walk down another aisle and I feel like we kind of like smile at each other. But then all of a sudden I was like, then that reality sets in because here's who I date. I used to get on dating apps a lot and I would date like you'd be like, I'm going to meet a stranger and they're going to look very different. Me too, you know. And then there's that, and then you date people that you already know. Those are the two. You date those are the people that you kind of start to date. I only ask for someone's number if I'm like, I'm going to get this phone number, because I feel like that's like a better way to do it. Not just like all of a sudden you're looking for like Honey Nut Cheerios and I'm just like, hey, you eat that and then fucking live your life. Like I didn't know what to say. This is, and I also realize that's what's not good is my game is knowing me. Like my game is being like, I've known Bobby. I feel like he's like, you get to know me. But at like a grocery store, like I was like, what do I say? I'm like, what, nice groceries. Like I had no idea what to say. And we kind of kept like crossing paths because we like did that thing where we were going like counterclockwise, which I was like, God, I love her for that. But then I was going to like say something. She kind of walked by me and then I was just like, but how did people do that before phones? Like you would just be out and just be like, hey. And then you're like, yes. I have no idea how to do that. I have no idea. That's like, I don't have that kind of game. I'm at this place. I'm like at a place where it's like, I'll do a show. And I just did a show and this girl was like, I really thought you were cute, but me and my friends were like, you should say hi, but then I didn't. And I was like, cool. So none of us are going to say anything. And then that's what happens. It's like high school all over again. You literally are like, I think I like that person. I wonder if they like me. And then you grow up and like, I do. You're like, what the fuck? Why? It's because we're scared. And also I'm definitely, I feel like I have confidence. I'm not fucking scared. But it's not being scared. It's like, I don't want to make someone feel uncomfortable while they're like, fuck, I forgot butter because that guy talked to me. God damn it, I got expired Greek yogurt because that dip shit was talking to me. And then also I'll be like, well, because here's the thing too, where I know enough female friends where they've been like, they're like, yeah, it's not great if you're not 6 foot tall. And I'm like, I know. And you don't like, no one like looks over and you're like, oh my God, you see that guy's personality? No, you got to wait a little bit. And even when you see me on stage, that's not really me. I'm not that. I'm the guy who says he itches his asshole. And then for real, my eye does hurt. I do think I've given myself pink eye. I think I itched my asshole in the middle of the night. I don't know. Or I touched a toilet seat and washed my hands poorly. Or someone touched a toilet seat, didn't wash their hands, touched the door handle, and I washed my hands, and it didn't matter because when I touched the door handle, there's already poop and shit all over it. So that's just the life I lead. And then, my buddy Darnell, he just moved to Austin, like right outside Austin, and he for a while was one of the managers at Helium in St. Louis. So funny. And the other day we were like, dude, let's hang out. And he was like, well, what sounds good, to go eat? And I was like, I haven't gotten like barbecue since I've been here yet. Cause here's what happens is you go and then the line's way too long. And you're like, I don't like barbecue that much. Let me think. Yeah. For story of the year, I've waited in line I signed up for Kill Tony. And it's like, so you're waiting in line. I've signed up for open mics and you're waiting in line. But I'm just not waiting in line for barbecue because you can only make it so good because it's all how you cook it. And yes, it's like seasonings or whatever, but it like at some point you're like, you can't be like, oh my God, it tastes like it's sucking my dick. It's not like there's not a new flavor where you're like, oh my God, it feels like I think it's paying my taxes. Like that would be crazy. But it's like at the end of the day, you're going to be like, it's a rack of ribs, and you can compliment them and be like, they're great. Like I had ribs the other day at, Tatum's husband made us ribs. Those ruled. He made dry ones and then he made like a more like a wet one. That doesn't sound good. I think there's like a better term, more barbecued or whatever. But you get to, you like eat that. But it's like, if I would have ate that and he was like, dude, we got this down the street, best barbecue in Houston, I'd be like, it is probably, that's how it tastes. I had a burger the other day that blew my fucking socks off but I still was like, it's a burger. It really was good. It's called like Not a Chance Burger or something like that, where we looked in there, me and Darnell, we were like, cause we went, that was what happened. We literally go to, and we see this huge line. And I was like, we did that thing where we look at each other, we're like, do you have to eat this? I don't have to. I'll eat anything else. And he was like, yeah, let's leave. And then I was like, well, let me just ask this lady who's like halfway through the line. And I was like, excuse me, how long have you been waiting? And her husband or boyfriend or whatever goes, I can tell you exactly how long we've been waiting. And it was over an hour. And they still had it looked like they were waiting for a fucking roller coaster. I was like, I'm not getting I really don't. I was like, you can even wait. I'll go get us food, bring it back. We'll wait in line, probably still be hungry by the time we get to the front. So we did not get to go eat that barbecue. And I was like, fuck, because I want to try. I mean, why? How good can it be? And I guess it's like, all the people waiting in line, can you not just like try to make that at home? I don't know. I'm going to do it one day. So I am going to be one of those idiots. So that's probably what they are too. But like, dude, one guy had a book. and Darnell was like, that's a great idea. And I was like, I'm going to be honest. I've brought books so many places and I've never read them. I've brought books home from school and didn't read them. I'm not a big reader. I can read poorly. I don't have dyslexia. I think I have dyslexia-ish. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes the letters are right in a row and other times I'm like, where are you at? You're telling me that's not this word? No. So there's definitely a learning disability going on in my fucking dumbass head. But yeah, I think I got pink eye. Just pink. I don't know what pink eye feels like, but when I close my eye, it feels like there's like I have like a stopper in the way. And I don't want to show it to you. It's not that gross. I just don't want to I got farts on my hands. No, but I have been I've been eating fiber. And dude, I'll have farts in the middle of the night that I feel like the fart wakes me up in the exact same way you would wake someone up who's sleeping in the passenger seat and you see like a sunrise, a sunset, some natural beauty. And you're like, hey, you're going to want to see this. And they wake up just for a second and be like, oh my God, that is wild. That's what I think my fart's been doing. I think it's been like, hey, you don't have to, I'm going to enjoy this, but hey. And I wake up and I'm like, what? And my butt's like, and you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you. And you just go back to bed. At 60 miles an hour, because that fart was shooting me off. But God, I'm really glad to be at the age where I need to take fiber and stop guessing what has fiber in it. I don't know you ever talk to someone and they start being like, well, there's a lot of carbs in this and this. I feel like it's the exact same when someone like starts doing math for tips. I like nod and I'm like, they get it and they'll never know if I actually get it or not. Only if someone asks me and they're like, do you get it? And then you're like, what is that? And then you leave and they're like, you left me with the tip. And I'm like, then you shouldn't have asked me about how the fucking money works. I know it whenever I get it by myself and I can breathe and you get to make that math face. You go, and like try to figure it out. So, what the fuck else? What else is going on? Oh, dude, I'll fucking tell you what else is going on. Oh, dude, I just heard in my headphones. I was like, there's someone playing music outside and it's an Amazon driver. And you know what? I love it. I'm not just saying that. Who doesn't want to blare their music and keep working? You don't want to like turn it up, turn it down every time you keep stopping. It's like, and there's nothing worse. I've driven Uber Eats. It sucks when you have to like go somewhere, stop, do this. And the last thing you want to do is lose your truck. So at least you're like, hey, it's back where Nelly is playing or whatever you pick. So I think that is pretty cool. But I'm still compared to most people, I haven't flown a lot. And the only reason I started flying was like mostly for like a couple stand-up shows over the years. But when we went on the road with Tatum, we did a bunch. And then a bunch of these planes kept crashing. And she's like, I don't want to fly anymore. I'm like, good. It's cheaper not to fly. I love driving and we can share the driving. I love it. I love being on the road. So then we got some news about some shows that are not, they haven't like for sure said them, but they might be far away to where it'd be good to have possibly TSA pre-check, or anytime you want to go and just have TSA pre-check, which basically means, I know you probably know what it means, but I had to ask because I was like, what's the difference? And like, you just get to pat, you don't have to take off your shoes, you get to like butt everybody, and then you like don't have to take off your belt, jewelry. I don't know everything I don't know everything, but it's just like you can get that, and the other thing is you get to skip the line. But I've seen the line be longer at pre-check when I've shown up before. I've heard other people talk about that. And so I was like, I don't really care about it. And then Tatum literally said, she's like, you don't have to get it. And I was like, I know, but I would hate to need it. I'd rather have TSA pre-check and need it than fucking be stuck in Wisconsin for a little too long. So, yeah. So we were trying to figure out where to go, you know, what to do. And I was like, I'm going to go get TSA pre-check. Sorry about that sound. That sucked. And so you go online, you fill out a little form, you fill it out. They ask you a couple questions. You're like, always, why do they always like, why is there always something? It's like, you go to like do your parking. It's like, what's your, you're like, I remember my birthday. I remember all this stuff. And it's like, what is your license plate number? And you're like, God, can I just say, I know it starts with like the letter J. Can I say J? And don't fucking take a car that has a J. And then every once in a while you're filling out something and it's like, hey, do you know your mom's social security number? You're like, why the fuck? No. There's always one question that's a little too far out of your memory. There's like, how much were your groceries the last time you bought them? You're like, I don't know. So I do that. I kind of like fill it out. I always get a little like, I hate filling those out because I feel like I'm going to do it wrong. And then you get like arrested or whatever. So I get it filled out and then they're like, okay, tomorrow, just show up at the airport. You don't even have to make an appointment, but I did, which was pointless to fucking do. I'll tell you this, don't make the fucking appointment. It's pointless. So then I go park at the airport. You have to like pay for parking. I'm like asking if they validate it when I get there. And they're like, we don't know. But then you get in the line and you wait, which is crazy. You're signing up for TSA pre-check. There should be so many people that it should kind of be like the beginning of that experience, in my opinion. Because I got a message that was like, let us know your feedback. And I'm like, I'll just tell it on my podcast that no one listens to. The same amount of people who would read my email are listening to this episode of the podcast. So the TSA, you have to like wait in line. And then they're like, did you already do your application? They're like, yes. And they're like, well, then it's going to take another 15 minutes here. And then a guy walks up to me and he's like, hey, can I sign you up for TSA pre-check clear pro? And you can probably tell by looking at me if this is your first time seeing me or if you've known me, I'm not a pro anything guy. I'm not a AirPods Plus Pro. If there's a plus next to it, I probably don't need it yet. I'm doing the fucking regular one. But the guy goes, no, if you do this, not only with TSA PreCheck, you get to skip the front of the line, but with TSA Clear PreCheck Plus, you get to skip around that line. And I'm like, okay, well, how long until they're like, and then you get TSA Plus squared, where you get to fly the plane. But it's for $300 more. And so he's like, do you want the plus? And I was like, just explain to me what comes with that. And because I have been an employee. It's like how people are like, I've been a waiter, this, that. And it's like, when you've worked in all those worlds, I was like, I'm going to let you explain it. And then, it's my job to say yes or no. I'm like, well, I'm already waiting in line. Who cares? I was in a good mood. I did this thing where the lady was behind me. And I think she said, I was like, when's your flight? She's like, in an hour. And I go, then you can skip in front of me because I don't have a flight today. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. So I'm like, you're right. Let's feel good. And then the guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, can I get signed here for this? How much more is it? And it goes from like about $80 to $120. And I go, to extra skip the line. And then there's like something else. And he was like, yes. And if you have a friend, if you signed a friend up, you get like another $80 back. He's like, I'm like, are you crazy? Of course I'm going to do this. And I said back to him, I go, so it's only 120. It's not like that plus the 80, correct? And he's like, absolutely not. And I go, I'm going to ask again. He even walked away after I asked again. Like the third time, I asked it loudly to be like, I was like, hey buddy, it's literally this much more. It's not like and I was like because I'm trying to understand it. He came up to me to explain a thing to me. I didn't ask to be explained. I knew exactly what I was doing. So if you're going to upsell me, you are going to have to explain if I'm like confused. So he explains it and then I go to check out and guess what it was? It was what Bob thought it was. It was 120 plus 80. So they're like, basically it gets like up to like, it's up to like about $200, like $199 or whatever. And I go, no. And everyone gives me that look where they're like, and I'm like, guys, please don't play dumb. You all heard me ask him multiple times. And I hate doing it. But you have to complain. I'm past not thinking you can complain. Complaining is how we get things changed. It's the only way. So I complained. I was like, nope. You're going to have to change that. And they're like, well, we can't. Which one would you like to go with? And I go, but you do understand he explained it. And he was like, it's literally $2 more. And I go, no. Like, he thinks I'm talking about like the tax or something. I go, no, it's not. It's $120 more than what I was going to spend. That's crazy, man. And then they go, well, it's okay. We already got you signed up. You can cancel later. And I go, no, you're not giving me a job. Please, no. Please cancel me for that. I'll just do this one. And then I go, well, and I go, no. And then I started getting like, you ever like feel yourself wanted to like defend yourself? I go, no, he said I was going to get for that. Let me talk to someone. And so I talked to someone. They're like, we can't do it. And I go, then please get someone else. There is someone else. I hate that I'm being a Bobby Karen. I go, get someone else. So that's how I got 4 free tires the other day. So I'm just telling you, you can either move on or get 4 fucking free tires. So then I call her over and I tell this, I was like, listen, I am upset. I'm mad. I try to explain. Everyone starts talking over me, which pisses me off more. I'm trying to be literally, I'm like, I showed up letting people butt in front of me. I'm telling you the spiel. Please don't forget any of that. So now I'm like, no, you're not going to take extra money from me. And then if I forget to unsign up for this. So then finally they go, well, you can pick one or two or the other. And I go, okay. And then that's what I ask. I go, may I please get all of your names? And then they go, you know what? Can I, like, she like called the banker like it's deal or no deal. She goes, hang on, let me call someone real quick. And I go, and that pisses you off even more. You're like, there is another option instead of there. It'll make you want to, it'll drive you up a wall. So long story short, they gave me it for $119. And then I heard her on the phone. She goes, just give it to him for $119. So it was always possible. And they were like, because even the lady goes, I've never even heard of $119. And then this is what sucked. It was for a military discount. And I literally, I recorded it. I was at that point. I'm recording on my own phone. I go, I am not in the military. Never have been. I was a Boy Scout. So there's like that amount of whatever the militaristic things. But I've never been in the military. So I don't want you to get something I didn't deserve. I am asking for this because I blah, 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 blah. And then finally they were like, no, you're going to be okay. And then even in email, because I don't want to like go to jail for like stolen valor or whatever, I was like, I am not in the military. Send. And they're like, well, just so you know, we're still checking to see if you're flight risk. I'm like, I'm not, because I don't know how to fly. But then you did get the discount. But here's the thing, dude. This is what I'm going to say. If you go in with the bad attitude, that sucks. But if someone forces you into a bad attitude, back to what I was saying earlier, I read a story about Jesus Christ. I didn't, but someone told me, and we watched a couple cartoons that someone drew about it when we were in school. But even Jesus was at a church, and they were they were selling like food. And they're like, he's like, get the fuck. And he flipped tables. So if you're mad, you say something. Don't be an asshole. But be enough of an asshole that they see your point, because otherwise you're going to leave and all day you're going to be mad and you're going to take it into traffic. And I'm telling you, you can't do that. To be zen, sometimes you got to be a little crazy. A little bit crazy zen, you know? Get that craze out in you. Get a little bit psychotic. No, but don't be mean. Just be like a little mean. Because they started being mean to me first. And I didn't even tell you the rest of the story. And I'm getting defensive because no one likes getting mean. But I'll tell you what I don't like. Paying $200 for something I didn't have score. So, and then it was all handled and everyone was great. So everything got handled. What a dumbass thing to end on. But come see me on tour. Sign up for the Patreon. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff. And I have other cool stuff coming up. I don't want to give it all away, but please stay tuned and send me an email. It's BobbyJComedy.com. BobbyJComedy@gmail. I should have checked that before I did it, but I know it is. BobbyJComedy@gmail. And send me a P.O. box. I don't have it in front of me, but I'll write it later. What is the worst fucking way to end the podcast after I got a free fucking hat? And these glasses, I can't see anything through. So if you sign up for the Patreon, I'll buy new glasses. Thank you. Kisses. Bye.